The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan, the chivalry begins.
Shall we play a game?
Player to another.
Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan. I am your host, Caleb Craig.
I am Caleb Schweiss.
And this is Cameron.
And today, guys, we are reviewing Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
The indie game that reminds you of all those games that you never played as a kid because you didn't like platformers.
Of all the platforming SNES games.
Yeah, of all those games that you don't have any history with and thus are not being nostalgic.
Or games you just could not invest time in because you just couldn't. Not as a kid.
Is that how you felt, Cameron? Because I was like, this seems like a game for people who did not play what I played. At all.
Well, I really missed that part of gaming just because A, I was young, and B, I never really had a chance to play it. The biggest platforming game that I would play regularly, though, was Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I think. And that was a game that I could never make it all the way through because I was a kid.
Well, that's also a very different style of platformer.
But it's still a platformer.
This one. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we all finished the game. I finished it at like 1 o'clock this morning. Craig beat it weeks ago, and Cameron beat it yesterday too, right?
Yeah.
Kind of
well before you did.
Yeah. Hey man, I went to dinner. Okay.
What was funny though is we were kind of at the same place too, where you were when I was at work. You're like, "Oh, I just beat blah blah blah." I'm like, "I'm actually on that level. He might get ahead of me," but no.
Yeah. Well, before I went to dinner, I was at the. I think I was at the second to last area, third to last area, something like that. But anyway, we'll dive more into that when the review comes. But before we get into any of that shit, if you guys haven't listened to us before, we are a weekly gaming podcast. We talk about video games, we talk about studios that make the games, talk about video game movies, all sorts of great shit. So please check out the rest of our episodes. You can find our website, nudeclan.net. We have some forums set up there. You can ask us some questions. You can call us at 385-204-3921. Ask us questions there. Leave us intros. Do whatever you want. Great ways to support the show. Keep us going. Subscribe to us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/NudeClanGaming, Nude Clan Podcast. You can support us on Twitch, where we're streaming the episodes again, live today, at twitch.tv/NudeClanGaming. And you can sub to us there. You can give us a PayPal donation through our website. But the best way, guys, best way to support the show, share it with somebody who loves games. Because you know what? Your friends are a great way to look at yourself.
So if you someone
who enjoys games and off-color commentary on said games,
exactly. You're probably going to be friends with them, and this show is probably perfect for them. And of course, all of that and more at audibletrial.com/NudeClan.
Of course.
Get your Audible on. It's a great program.
It
Amazing.
is.
Even if you're not using them, I'm kind of stockpiling mine right now just because I'm
fucking 26 books this year so far.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
and
no one's ever
going
going to beat Craig on that anymore.
I'm going through the Sherlock Holmes books again.
You know, maybe with all that subscription that we get through this and all the money we make from it, I can get a better fucking stand.
Yeah, maybe.
Instead of the one Joe stole.
So, see, support the podcasts. Support Cameron's need.
You know what's
for
funny? This is his. The stand I'm using is his. He stole mine, which is exactly like the one he stole.
So you stole mine?
No. That's the one that.
No, he stole Craig. So Craig
Yeah.
must have stolen.
So you
his.
stole mine. Because that's his, and that would have been mine then.
Look, man, it's all company paid for.
This is not mine. I bought my own.
You are the
fucking
one
bitch.
who takes his mic out of the stand the most frequently. So why don't you use this piece of shit?
I don't know.
God damn it!
We could just buy another one. The one
Yeah,
that I
let's-
bought was like what, $12?
You know what? We could if we had more Audible trial subscribers. So, guys, join up. It's a great way to pass the time. Even if you only have 30, 40 minutes to commute a day, it fills that time beautifully. And if you like to read the actual book, I've done numerous times. I've sat down and read where I left off for the night because I read way faster than the Audible guys.
Well,
And I-
Joe Maniac.
Yeah, and I like it. It's great. Anyway, guys, we know what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be Shovel Knight. But what else have you guys been playing this week?
Oh, I think I've only played Dragon Quest XI. I think that's all I've played this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't touch Shovel Knight again to prep for
I
the
was
review
going
or
to
anything?
play a little bit extra to go through the DLCs, the Spectre one and the Plague Knight one.
Are they
but
shorter?
I think they're just as long. They're both supposed to be like 4 to 6 hours, from what I was told. So
12 for me. Is
yeah, 12 for you for both.
great.
But yeah, that's I was gonna go do this, but I have been playing Dragon Quest XI for Puff Hour. So yeah, game.
So this week, obviously a lot of Shovel Knight. Got playing through that. I did play a tiny bit of Overwatch, a tiny bit of Apex. I would like to get a group of listeners together to play it, just because I only play it very rarely, and it's always easier when you have a group of people you can communicate with.
Yeah.
I've also been playing through the Blood and Wine DLC for The Witcher, and then I picked that
Nice.
up, and it's just like, why haven't I been playing this game? Right now, I'm on a quest to get my wolf armor up to Grandmaster level, and that's going to take me a long time.
Yeah.
I almost want to count the game beaten again this year as soon as I beat the DLC, because apparently Blood and Wine's really long.
It's barely shorter than the main campaign.
I don't know. I don't know if I can, because that goes against the sanctity of the hog. But
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you can count the DLC, obviously.
yeah, well, it doesn't count as much as the game, but
No, it's not as many points, but it is still points.
points that should be tracked.
Yeah.
But as far as games played, that's it for me.
Nice.
Points that should be tracked. You're right. We should all be tracking our points here. You can do that at hogabe.herokuapp.com. Have you gotten into the...
No, I have the access to get into download stuff, but I'm still waiting on making it easier for myself.
So you're waiting on making it easier for you.
Well, because I'm having someone build me something to make it easier.
Oh, okay.
That I'm paying personal money for.
All right. It sounded like bullshit at first, but I guess it's not.
No, he's made...
What, are you paying somebody to input everything for you?
No. So what it is I gave him examples of what the database downloads would look like, broken out by month, and he's going to build me an Excel spreadsheet where you can upload the file and have it automatically do the numbers for you.
Interesting.
Very nice. Very nice. Guys, I want to introduce something as well. So we have the drawings that we do, and we have one of those due today. And we do a monthly drawing. Every $1 you guys give us on Patreon, we give you an entry into a drawing to win a game. The last 2 drawing guys have been foreign, and they said that they don't care. So, like, what we'll do for those is we'll give them, like, a gift card or something if they want it. But they were both like, whatever, don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure both of them said that.
Well, we should worry
Probably
about
double
it.
check.
We should still do something.
Nah, we can, but it has to be a gift card. I'm
Right,
not going to
no, that's
mail
fine.
anything out.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to do. If you say you don't want anything that we have currently, or if you can, like, bottle your victory up, I think we should have this where you get the amount of entries you had from the month that you decided to waive your victory, and you can use that next month. So, like, we're gonna have games coming up that we're gonna list on there, and what we're gonna try to do is buy a show copy of every review game that we get.
What I think we should do is, if there's no games that they want to choose from, then they can choose a gift card instead. I think that clears it up, and it makes the next month drawing just more pure and better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because next month, if we have another person who wins, then we'd have 2 people we'd have to give gifts to.
No, he wouldn't win. He wouldn't be automatically a winner. He would just have more entries next time. So
right.
higher chance of
winning, but he's already won.
But he chose to waive it. He chose to
waive it because he didn't want it. But
I don't know what this
saying,
has to do with what Schweiss has been playing.
Yeah, I don't know. What he's saying is, hey, you've won. Do you want to have a better chance to win again? No, he's already won.
That's what the NFL.
I think we should just add a gift card to the the drawing.
The NFL draft does, though. Like when you get draft picks, you can trade. You can trade a draft pick for a player during the season. So it's like, I'll give you this guy and also my round 4 draft pick, and you can, and then they make the trade that way.
That sounds like it would be really confusing in the long run.
I don't like it. This isn't American football. They've won.
This is
Fuck
American
you guys.
podcasting.
You're just retarded at sports. All right, we could do that. We could just do gift cards if you want.
It's a great thing that they get something that they can choose at that
And
point.
if you don't want anything, then you just don't get anything. That's
true
up
as
to
well.
you.
If you choose not to, then I guess we should redraw at that point, though.
Yeah, probably.
What?
I don't know. Should we redraw or should we?
I
just
think
say
we
fuck
should,
it?
because if they waive it, we still have the gift. Let's draw again.
Yeah, but what we're going to start doing, though, guys, is we're going to buy a show copy of every game that we review, and we're going to put that copy of the game up for the drawing. So when we review, let's say, as an example, if we were to buy a show copy of Resident Evil 2, we would review the game and then give the show copy up for the drawing. We want to do that for God of War kind of thing. We did that in the past. We did it for Horizon Zero Dawn. Of course, those were gift games. So it was easier to do because we had 4 copies, and the only one that's a klepto is Craig. So the rest of us were just like, yeah, fuck it, take it. Take it all.
He bought
Craig,
those games.
No, he didn't buy the game.
Every time
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Every time Craig is given a game, he just covets it and he doesn't want to give it up.
No, but that makes sense. If a game is purchased to us as a gift
to me, I don't want to give it up.
Exactly.
It was a gift for the show.
It was a gift
You just
to
happened
me
to be
specifically. It was a
on
gift
the
to each of us.
Especially with Horizon Zero Dawn. He went all out and getting those gift wrapped and on a personal note, and it'd be a crime to give that away.
It was
at
from
that point.
Sweden. It had a note in it, but he didn't touch those games.
Right. He still bought them. It was still
That's true.
Yeah. It was a nice gesture, and I kept it as a nice gesture.
Well, here's my thing, Craig. You are never going to play that game again. So wouldn't it be more...
played
true.
the DLC.
You've seen Toy Story.
But I don't know.
You see what happens to toys that don't get played with. They get kind of depressed, right?
I didn't
Dark
care for
things
Toy Story.
happen. Teddy bears become evil overlords. And
That makes sense.
do you want that for your games? Do you want Horizon Zero Dawn to become bitter over time that you don't ever play with it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah. I say just give it to a loving home. Pass it on to the
What
next
makes you
generation.
think that person would also be playing it constantly?
Well, they chose it. It would at least get played again, as opposed to never again.
If it's a physical copy, it'll go on into the future, and other people will play it.
Yeah, but who's going to play it? Who the fuck do you know?
The children of
that-
the future.
What, your
Schweiss.
kids?
Yeah, or my nephew, or whoever.
I don't know, man. Why would you give him a game that you didn't think was very good?
He can decide for himself.
Can he?
Yeah,
Can he, Craig?
yeah.
You're already
I'll even let him pretend he
Batman
likes
shows.
Final Fantasy X if that comes up.
How dare you? You're a piece of shit for that.
For telling the truth, for telling it like it is, Schweiss.
No.
I already get enough hate for everything I say, so I don't care. It's fine.
See, that's why you get hate for what you say, Craig.
I just tell the truth, and people can't handle the truth.
God God. Anyway, yeah, we could do that. We can just do gift cards. I was thinking of something fun to, like, I don't know, incentivize. If they're like, oh, you know, there's not really anything right now, and then they can use their points.
I feel like...
But the problem with using your points is, like, or giving them points, giving them more drawings is like we...
What is it with you and points and the game of points and then the hog of points? It's just all about points with you.
It is.
What does it add up to?
It adds up to godliness. That's what it is.
Pointliness is godliness.
That's right, yeah.
What do the points mean, Schweiss? What do they mean?
They mean everything, Cameron. It's all about points.
That's great. Great reference, campaign.
But I still think giving someone who won something that they won is better than saying you have a better chance next time.
But see, also when they say no after the fact, like
I thought we already decided.
I know, but okay. Any other games, Schweiss?
I didn't even say
yeah,
one
you didn't
game.
even say one. You just dove right into this like a moron.
So, also before I
No.
all right. So I also played. I thought about that a lot this week,
I'm sure you did.
and then I played a shit ton of Dissidia Final Fantasy. The first one.
Didn't you? You beat that last time though.
No, I didn't.
Didn't he?
No,
No,
I
if
was
it's not on
almost
the
done.
list.
I was
it
almost
not
done.
on the list. Oh, okay.
I played a bunch of that, finished it up. I also played the DLCs, which I'm going to count as DLC because once you beat the game, so I played it with all 10 characters, and then I beat the final missions, which was like another fucking 10 hours. And then it unlocked a Final Fantasy XI campaign, and it unlocked a Final Fantasy XII campaign. They're both bonuses after the game, and I'm counting those as DLC.
I don't think that game had DLC.
It's not technically DLC, but it's the spirit of DLC.
No, you can't count that as DLC.
No, I'm going to.
If it was in the base game, it's not downloadable extra content.
No, it's
which
still
is what
extra
DLC
content.
is.
It's the spirit of extra content.
No,
I will
it's
win
not
this.
the spirit of extra
No,
content.
I will. If I play Separate Ways in Resident Evil 4, that's a fucking DLC.
It's just extra content.
It's a DLC.
Post-game content. Games used to have that, Schweiss.
And it counts.
No,
it's a
it
separate
doesn't.
little
It doesn't
campaign.
count as fucking extra if it's not extra.
It
was
is
in the-
extra. You just said it's a little extra thing.
It was in
You
the
said
base.
extra.
It was in the base game.
No, it wasn't. It was re-released for PS2 with it on there. It wasn't on the GameCube.
What the fuck are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about Separate Ways. I'm talking about the FF11 thing. I mean, it was released with the game, but it's still
Then
extra
it's
content.
with the game. You can't fucking say it's not. You can't say it's DLC if it wasn't fucking DLC.
Was it ever DLC at any point?
I don't think it was downloadable, no, but it's still extra campaign after beating it.
And we need to confer and talk about it because it's not DLC.
Yeah, it's not DLC. Therefore, you don't count it
I
as
mean,
DLC.
I would say if you beat Resident Evil 4 and then you beat Ada's Separate Ways, that's a DLC.
No.
I think it absolutely is.
Because that argument would be like once you beat Nier Automata, doing the other parts of the mission is now extra content.
No, it's not extra content because that game is set up in a way
That's
is...
what you just said.
No,
though.
because
Yeah,
Ada's story goes on during the main
but
story.
that's what you said for Dissidia with
Well,
the two sections.
No,
So-
because
so
it's
does-
separate. Those
so
don't
does,
take place.
So does in Nier
Automata?
Nier Automata goes
Yeah,
on
but
at the
Nier
same time.
Automata goes from A to B, and all of those are in there. The story is one big arc that each of the playthrough is contained in. This is not. The things are happening while you're doing your shit with Leon, but it's not like it's not the end of the game. So Nier Automata is set up weird. And that way, I wouldn't count. I can see Caleb not wanting to count it because it was in the main game, but it's still only unlocked after.
The Ada's thing is questionable, but the Dissidia thing, no, that is definitely not DLC.
See, I told Jake to count Ada's campaign and the other thing as DLC because that is what DLC is. It's extra little story content that you can buy.
No,
It
DLC
just
is
wasn't-
DLC.
It only
It just-
came out on the GameCube version and wasn't on the PS2 one?
No, it only came out on the PS2, which was a re-release.
Okay.
That's basically what DLC is. You couldn't download the content back then, but that is the spirit of what DLC
That
is,
would
extra
be like
content.
an expansion.
Okay.
Okay, Ada thing, I'm gonna let slide. That can be a DLC.
You don't think the Dissidia thing counts, though?
100% no. Fuck you for even suggesting
I would say
it.
the shovel. Well, you just barely. We were just talking about Shovel Knight, and you said, "Oh, well, we could count that as DLC if we played it again," and that's on extra content.
They
of
came
the
with
game.
the fucking Game of the Year edition, the Treasure Trove edition.
That's the
they
only
still had the
edition that
two
we had?
DLCs, the fucking Spectre Knight and the Plague Knight. That's DLC content.
It's not my DLC.
It is your DLC. It's
not my
it's
DLC.
everyone's fucking DLC.
It's not my
Schweiss.
DLC, Craig.
Fuck
I
you.
I don't acknowledge it, so it doesn't exist.
When
You
it's
don't get that
actual
decision.
DLC at that point.
It wasn't though for me. It was just there. I mean, I guess it was DLC because it's a Switch game and we downloaded it.
Yeah.
But then does it count as a game? Because you downloaded the content of the game, so it's not a game anymore. It's DLC.
Jesus, you're like going insane
Why are you
slowly.
Why are you being so stupid about this?
Well, that's what you got mad at me for saying like you have to download it. Or no, Cameron said that.
It would have to be extra content that was downloadable at one point in order to be DLC.
But
Or being able to purchase
See,
separately, like
in-
expansions for
in
Diablo
my
or
mind-
Warcraft or whatever.
In my mind, it's extra content that wasn't available with the base game. That is DLC.
Yeah, that's exactly what DLC is.
So if it wasn't necessarily DLC ever, like you could buy it on its own, like to download it to the main game, if it's just extra content that they decided to have on the re-release, then yeah, I think that could be DLC.
I guess that's more true. Because, I mean, I'm not going to count, like, the hunk run on Resident Evil 2 as DLC. Although, technically it is, because it wasn't fucking there in the beginning, and now it's there, and you can play through it.
No, that's just extra content you get to play.
But I had to
DLC
download it. I could have said no. But that's, I don't know. I don't know what makes it different, though, because it was technically extra that wasn't available at the base release. Although with PlayStation, it's like every time you put your game in, it's like, oh, we're updating it. Here's extra stuff.
I don't know. Maybe we can talk about this at another time.
It's too deep, you know.
I think the answer is pretty clear, but we can talk about it
But
another time.
well, no, but
Because one of us is retarded.
because I wouldn't count the one. That
I think
was,
it's just twice at his points. He needs his points.
I wouldn't count the one that was actually DLC before I would count the ones that were on the PS2 disc. Those feel more like a DLC episode because it's like a straight up episode. This is just like a challenge mode, but it is the Survivors DLC.
We only said we would count things that are DLC that are actual story additions
Yeah, that's true.
that were meant to be like expansions.
Yeah,
So people
expansions.
aren't counting like the horse armor and shit like that from fucking Oblivion.
Well, right.
'Cause that's not. That's. Yeah.
I mean, it is DLC. But
it
it's
is
not
DLC, but it's not an expansion.
But
which
I mean,
is what we said.
if it's another game style, that kind of is an expansion.
What do you mean?
Like
Another
with the
game
Resident
style?
Evil 2 thing, it's like just get out as fast as you can.
No, because like you wouldn't count Bloody Palace and like Devil May Cry as that because it's just like an endless mode of killing enemies. You just see how far you can get.
Does it really not end?
I think one of them's endless. I don't remember if they all are.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that's true. But that was in the game, though. That was in the game.
That's
on
in
launch.
like all the other games, but for 5, it's coming in like April 1st as a DLC. Well,
see.
it's a free update. Never mind. Either way, but yeah, it's not a continuation of a story. It's not like any extra story content or side story content. It's just we wanted expansions is what we labeled for DLC.
Fine.
So like the episodes or the videotapes for Resi 7, those would count because they're story content.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like the videotapes in the game. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's
No, not those ones. It's the DLC ones.
All right.
And the End of Zoe and the Not a Hero. They're all story content missions.
Yeah, those count. Those count. Even though one of them came with the game.
Yeah, Not a Hero is free, but it's still DLC and it's not an update. So there.
Fine. Fuck you, I won't count it. So I beat Dissidia. Played and beat Dissidia, the OG. I played a bunch of Shovel Knight this week. I started it on like Thursday or something like that, and then I completed the game last night, of course, in preparation for this review. And I played quite a bit of Devil May Cry 5. I have a ton of Redbox rewards that they keep sending me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to find a way to manipulate Redbox a little. And the way is, if you rent something after midnight, it doesn't... So, like, I rented it at, like, 12:30 yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not due until 9 o'clock tonight. And so my plan was to rent and beat Devil May Cry 5 for $1.70. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it up before 9 o'clock because I have plans with Alex and stuff, but I'm going to try.
Well, you only have like 6 missions left, so you should be able to beat it really quick.
Yeah.
Because the missions aren't that long.
Yeah, that's true. They're pretty short. So I played a bunch of that, though. I've put like 7 or 8 hours into that, I think. I mean, it's not a ton, but those 3 games, and I think that's it for this week. Yeah. What about you? Or no, we all went, huh?
Yeah,
you guys.
we all went.
Yeah,
We
so
just
now
gotta
we
figure out
what games
if
we beat.
anyone's
Yeah,
beaten
so
a game.
playing games is one thing, but then
I
you
already
wanna beat
did the thing. Just
game.
play the noise.
this week. But yours was shitty. Yours was shitty, just like your DLC opinion.
I beat Dragon Quest XI. So
All
fuck
right.
off.
Dragon Quest XI. I'm not going to spell all that out. I'm just going to put DQ.
DQ 11.
Dairy Queen 11.
Dragon Quest XI, huh? Are you guys
Yep.
moving in on that review date then?
We still got to review 9, but then as soon as the other 2 guys do 11.
Are you all done with 9?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I think Dylan beat it the other day.
Oh, okay. So not that long ago.
Okay.
I was going to say, why the wait? But
Yeah, how
seriously.
are we going to review Dragon Quest 9 when you already have Dragon Quest 11 fresh on the mind?
Because 9 has like no story whatsoever.
Okay.
Maybe you
It was meant to be like a weird multiplayer type game, and it's.
did you play it with the others?
No,
Can you?
you can, but I didn't.
Well, if that was the name of the game, why didn't you?
I mean, did you really beat it if you didn't play it the way it was meant to be played?
It can be played multiplayer, but it's weird. It's just fucking weird.
All right, I guess we have to wait for the review.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and hear that. Cameron, what about you?
Yeah, Shovel Knight.
All right. Cameron, Shovel Knight. I beat Dissidia and Shovel Knight this week.
Nice.
So we got that. Guys, remember to log your hog, hogib.herokuapp.com. Join the competition, join the fun, get yourself some points. You know, everyone loves points. Well, okay, I love points. These guys hate
Yet
points.
You're so further behind than anyone.
I am what?
You're not even in the top 10.
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck
Neither are
aren't
you. So
Yeah, I am.
well, you were higher before.
I'm in like 6th place.
You were once in the lead, Craig.
I know. I
You've
was.
let me down. I am not winning, but I am doing better than I was last
You're
year.
like 30th.
Top 30 is all that matters. I mean, sure, there aren't that many other people
You're
beyond
like,
that.
You have like 6 people below you, and then everyone else hasn't logged anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Nude Clan Hog for the host is as follows. Caleb Craig, King Hog for the year so far with 10 games beaten. I am in second place with, 11 for Craig, 10 for me, and 2 for Cameron Wilson. Guys, are you ready to talk some Shovel Knight?
Fuck yeah.
All right. Gonna pull up the trailer. Should have done this earlier, but doing it now.
Does it even have a trailer? I don't really remember it being promoted in any way.
Nah.
Here
I
we go.
haven't even-
Trailer HD. Let's watch this
Yeah,
shit.
okay.
How HD can it really get?
Super HD.
Soon to find out.
If the trailer ever plays.
Yeah. Rating pending.
Yacht Club Games presents a groundbreaking new title.
looks pretty HD to me.
Yeah, that's some high def letters going on. Here we go. That's some footage.
Shovel Knight's running.
No upgrades on that. Oh, the rats. Jesus Christ.
Rats with propellers.
Oh, looks like we got some enemies in here. Boss fights.
That was a loud trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you guys talking at all. Just sounded like mumbles.
Ah, so Shovel Knight.
The ultimate in platforming technology.
Yeah. Initially released 2014. It was a Kickstarter game. We saw the Kickstarter people in the end. Kind of like did a little shout out for everybody. It didn't seem like a huge project, which is surprising because this is a game I've heard kind of a lot about since the game was released. It was ported to the Switch in March of 2017, which is of course the way we played it. Released by Yacht Club Games. This is the first game I have heard of Yacht Club doing, and it is in fact their first and pretty much only game so far. So, Craig, tell us about the story of Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight is about a knight named Shovel Knight who is searching for his lost love of Shield Knight. Yeah.
His lost love. Are we talking canon here?
What are you talking about?
Because, I mean, you can make him whatever you want.
It's true. There is the option to make to switch the genders of every single one of them.
What was the gender in the trailer?
I think he's a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, his base is a dude.
It's the canon gender.
Yeah, the canon gender. But yeah, so he's looking for Shield Knight. He thinks that she's dead or is gone, and the Enchantress has basically taken over the area and forced all these other knights to work for her and become the masters of the domain, and then you just basically defeat each of them in order to try and find where Shield Knight is. That's basically the story. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So, one of the interesting things about the story, like I said before, you can change your character's, like, gender identity, basically. And I immediately, when I found that out, I went in and changed everybody as an identifier. So they were male, but they spoke as female, right? Because you had the option to choose,
you could
like,
choose their voice lines too, yeah.
Yeah. So I made everyone the guy from GameStop that was yelling, it's ma'am. All of my guys were that guy. Or girl, whatever. But yeah, the story's, it's pretty simple. I mean, you just kind of go through this land and fight all these other knights who are blocking your way from the Enchantress, who is like the main baddie, who is, of course, Shield Knight, the character at the beginning that you failed to protect. And you keep having, like, recurring nightmares where, like, you're fighting off a ton of dudes and, like, Shield Knight's just falling.
Yeah, you're supposed to save her. Yeah.
Through the sky, and you have to, like, jump up and grab her hand, you know? So there's a lot of, like, psychological damage that's been done due to this. due to her being taken away from you. And at the very end of the game, you find out that she is the Enchantress, right? And then basically she fights off the spirit of the Enchantress or something. Like, it's casting this huge spell, and
You
Shield
fight
Knight.
the amulet, is what it was.
Oh, okay.
Once you kick the Enchantress out of Shield Knight, then the amulet, I guess,
Kind of has its own
has its own,
manifestation.
yeah, and then you fight that.
Yeah, and when you do that, of course, Shield Knight uses her shield to kind of block the Uber attack at the end that's going to destroy the whole place. And one of the guys that was kind of a bad dude, sort of, before Black Knight, he comes in and saves you, who's been KO'd.
I can't help thinking about Black Butt. I'm sorry.
And she kind of sacrifices herself one more time. Black Knight leaves you out in front of your campfire that's just constantly running. And Shield Knight comes out and, like, she lived, and she just kind of, like, lays next to you. And that's how the game, post-credits, ends.
Yeah.
We've got some DLC in there. We've got the Plague Knight, and we've got the
Spectre Knight
DLC. I haven't done any of those, but yeah, story's pretty simple. I don't really have any issues with it necessarily, though. I mean, there's not a whole lot to the story, but that's also kind of charming, and that's sort of what games
the whole
were at the
game
time.
was meant to be kind of like a spiritual successor to all those NES-styled platformers. You can see the influence of Super Mario Bros., of Mega Man, of Legend of Zelda 2, of those other type games that were of that era that were platformers and side scrollers. It's very much inspired by Mega Man.
Yeah.
Down to the fact that there are 8 bosses, and that the last boss is like 2 forms. Everything like that it's definitely Mega Man.
So in Mega Man games, are there always 8 bosses?
Yeah, there's always the 8 robot masters.
Yeah,
and then the final boss after that.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool little final section. I know not everyone likes that, but
DuckTales
I thought it was great.
and Castlevania.
I thought it was awesome to have that like battle royale with all the bosses in the final area. I thought that was really super cool, and they kind of like do one last ditch effort to stop you from getting to the Enchantress, right? And
when
you
you're
just
fighting
kinda,
them on the dinner table.
yeah, that was great. And you get served dinner each time, so you get health back, so you can restart.
Yeah, it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, when I heard about that from my buddy, I was like, fuck, dude, this is going to be brutal. Because, like, I suck at this game, I suck so bad. It's not really the boss fights that are killing me, but for some reason I was thinking I'd have to go through with 1 health bar, and that would have been kind of rough. I don't think it would have been impossible. Wait, no, you know what? I think it probably would have been impossible for me. I don't think I could have done that. It took too much damage. But yeah, I thought it was a fun little, simple little story. I don't know. I didn't really have any issues with it. What about you guys? What do you guys feel about the story?
I enjoyed the story. It's very much a similar type thing to like Mario saving the princess from Bowser, basically.
Right. For the type of game it was perfect. So
yeah, it serves its purpose well. For what it is, and gives kind of an interesting motivation for Shield Knight, because with Mario and Peach, there's you don't know that anything's there until later games when they get married or whatever. But then you get Shield Knight and Shovel Knight, and there's a connection there from the cutscenes where it has him save her, and just the little things throughout. So, and then you get more information just by talking to the other dudes. Spectre Knight says that your precious Shield Knight is dead and whatever,
right?
And you knew Polar Knight before. You were brothers in chivalry and whatever, because he also has a shovel. Stuff like that.
It's no shovel.
You get there's comedy in there, but then there's also personality for each of the bosses and your interactions with them. So I think that the story is even better than it's a really good example of those old style game stories.
Yeah, there's some pretty good dialogue in the town and stuff. Like Cameron and I were talking, or before we started recording, about the hat salesman guy, like the dude that owns a hat shop.
Yeah, you wouldn't have ever known about him unless you go exploring it everywhere you go. I'm pretty sure there's other things you didn't go do too, but hat guy, if you pay or give money to all the patrons inside the store, then you fight the hat master, whatever his name is, Hat Knight.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because he really wants your helmet. And then you get a ton of gold from him. But then even if you go down, and then down the ladder that the goat's standing next to, underneath the guy who takes your meal tickets into a health point and the person can buy more magic from, if you go all the way down, and then down the ladder and then all the way to the left, you find another magic person down there who lets you do this little mini game of hitting these vials into targets, and if you get over a certain amount of points, she'll give you stuff.
Oh, really? I didn't find that.
All you have to do is go straight down to the left, hit the wall.
I get yelled at for hitting that wall. You know, I'm not. I've been fixed. Like it's a thing now. Like I've been trained to not hit the wall. But yeah,
just pull the bed back a little bit. You should be fine.
Yeah. I think the dialogue is really great in the game, though. I found it really enjoyable. Kind of the old English writing style and stuff, and I enjoyed the characters. I thought it was pretty well done.
What I really liked is, even though it was just the text scroll for talking, they would add emphasis in various ways, changing the color text, making text shimmer or move back and forth to give weight to certain words.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's a cool way to kind of add almost voice acting without it. You know,
exactly,
give more character to the dialogue that you're seeing.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, what do you guys want to give story then?
It served its purpose for this game. I feel story would get I'd give it an 8.
All right.
I think I'll give it a 9.
Let's see. I think I'm going to go 8 as well. I think it's a good little story. It's not super strong, but I liked the romance between you and Shield Knight. I thought that was really pretty well done, and like you could see how tragic it was for him, because you could see him like having the recurring nightmare of like having to save her and not being able to. Of course, which ended with you digging up your fire and getting the gems underneath each time. You know, which just rage bury that flame, and it's. I thought it served the game pretty well. So gameplay. This game is a platformer to the max. I mean, it's like the old Metroid games. It's like the old Castlevania, DuckTales, shit like that. And it almost seems like there's kind of a mini resurgence of those games coming out, because we had this game, we had Cuphead. Like those are two pretty big little kind of indie titles that sort of are trying to capture what old platformers were, with like the epic boss battles and stuff like that. This game, honestly, almost every death I had was from the level killing me.
Oh yeah, platformers do that. There's like it's 90% death due to the level itself, and then like 10% due to bosses. Well, actually no, 8% due to bosses, and 20% or 2% just a random bullshit.
Yeah. I died. Do you guys know how many times you died playing this game?
I don't remember the number, but it was over 100.
Mine was like 212 or something.
Mine was probably in the 200s. I don't remember that number. The number that burns the most is the amount of gold I lost.
Yeah. So with the game, every time you die, your gold kind of flies out of your body in pouches.
You lose half your gold, yeah.
You don't lose half? That's not half.
I don't think it's half.
I don't think it's half.
Yeah, half is too much.
How much is it then?
I'm pretty sure it's not half.
I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but I
sworn it was half.
I don't think it was half. But you lose a certain
because
chunk of...
I got the armor that makes it so the amount of gold you lose is cut in half. But I don't think you lose a solid half. I think it's a good chunk, but not a half.
Mm.
Yeah, and when you die, the gold kind of like flies out of your body, and you have the option and sometimes it really is an option to go and pick up your sacks of gold again.
And then if you lose your gold by falling down a pit, did you know that you could use the fishing rod to pick them back up?
I did not.
I didn't have the fishing rod.
You just gotta go buy the stuff, man. Go to the dude who sells the stuff and buy the stuff, man. You can use the stuff.
Well, Schweiss only had the fireball.
Yeah, that's the only item I
There's
have.
so much in the
Honestly,
game.
I am impressed that you went through that entire game with only the fireball.
Yeah. It wasn't easy, I'll tell you that. It wasn't hard because of the boss fights, though. It was fucking platforming.
There's a lot of stuff in the
fucking,
game that
propeller dagger makes the traversal a lot easier, and so did the.
there's a lot.
dusty
They designed
knuckles.
some of those levels after one of the relics or magic spells that you find. And some of the levels are designed around that.
It makes it easier to traverse with those things.
Maybe it should have given me the item then. I don't know.
I mean,
don't
you
know
can
what to say.
find them, some of them anyway, and then if not, then you have to go buy them.
There were a couple extra areas that I couldn't get to, but I tried to explore as much as I could in the game. I don't know. I guess I didn't explore the shops well enough in town.
The dude who sells the stuff
Did you
is
find the
downstairs.
fireball, or did you go buy it?
I found it.
Okay.
It gives it to you.
I know,
Practically.
you can get to some of them. This is just wondering.
You
if
can get most
skipped
of 'em.
Everything.
If I would have bought it, I would have. If I would have had to have bought it, I wouldn't have gotten it.
You didn't even get the phase locket or anything.
No. I mean, how I thought for certain you needed the phase lock in order to beat a certain level.
Which one?
The one where you got it, apparently.
Well, I bought it from the one dude.
Huh.
It helps with spikes. That's nice.
It helps with the fighting the Polar Knight because one of his moves smashes the ground and makes spikes on the ground.
Oh yeah,
And so it's
it's
like
really useful for that.
I'll do a double hop on his head, phase out, and then you get one more hop on his head because put his shovel back down. You can land on spikes and get to somewhere safe. That was a core mechanic in most of my fights.
I think I only died to that guy like once or twice.
He wasn't that hard. In
No,
the
he was
long run.
pretty easy.
Yeah, there are 8 boss fights, like we said. As you're going through the levels, you can find little checkpoints where it sort of saves your progress.
5 checkpoints per level.
Yeah,
Or 4
usually
of them?
around 4. It kind of
4
depends.
or 5, I can't remember.
The
It's
levels
one of the two.
are different sized, and they're kind of spaced out pretty evenly. You can break
Some of
those.
them are really close to each other, though, which I was like, why is that so close?
It's probably-
And then it's usually because there's like a sub-boss like right there.
Yeah, or the platforming is extra bullshit right there.
Yeah, it's like one of the two. It's like, this is going to be a ridiculous part.
Yeah, and the game likes, it's kind of similar to Dark Souls in a couple ways, where when you lose your currency, you have one chance to go pick it all back up, and if you don't, it's gone. And then when you die again, you lose whatever the percentage is of what you currently have, not counting the stuff that's like hanging out there waiting for you. So I ended the game. I think Cameron and I both ended the game completely poor, like no gold left.
I
over
ended the game
whatsoever.
completely poor because I had a lot of gold before I started the end, and so I went and bought a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then I came back with maybe like 2,000 gold, and by the end of doing the gate and then the send and then finding the enchantress, had nothing.
I lost a lot of gold trying to get all those sheets of music for the bard.
Yeah, I saw that, and I would go into secret rooms, and then the reward was the sheet of music. And judging by how hard that room looked like, I would, whether
Just
or not I
walk
would
out?
go. Yeah, I just walk out. I'm like, oh, so this one is a whole bunch of platforms and one of the fucking ice platforms over a bunch of spikes. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I'm not going in that room.
There was some really bullshit ones, I'll tell you that. I was surprised I made it through there.
One thing that I disliked was I'd go into a room to then find out the only way to get out or get to the treasure at the end of it is to have an item I didn't have. And so you just die, and all that gold you had is just gone.
Yep.
Yeah, oh man, speaking of, so I've got 3 things I'm going to do when I take over the country, right? First, no more IRS, flat tax rate. Second, no fucking frozen levels and platformers. No levels where there's ice on the ground for you to slide around in, because God, those are bullshit. And this ice level
You gotta have them, though. You gotta have an underwater level, and you have to have an ice level every fucking game.
This ice level was bullshit. It wasn't as bad as the one in fucking when you start getting the ice blocks in Catherine, by any means.
No, that's just horseshit.
Still not great. Still kind of overpowered. The boss was really fucking easy, though. That's the thing, and that's the thing about these games, like, or this game in particular. Like, the levels are brutal. Like, it's super hard for me, especially, to like platform my way through. It's like there are mice with propellers strapped to them.
I never
had
bounce off issues with the mice with propellers. So were they ever?
They come out of nowhere sometimes. They're fucking
move
assholes.
So slow. If you just wait patiently just for a minute, they're all gonna fucking line up, and you just destroy them.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to bounce off of them though to get to the next spot. And
But that's
when it's
not
brutal.
hard.
I don't know, man.
The mice with propellers were not my least favorite enemy. My least favorite enemy were the freaking shield and sword knights.
Yeah, those guys will
were
fuck you,
easy.
man.
I hate them. I don't know why I didn't realize you could do this, but I'd always mistime their lunge where they put their thing down to charge and hit you at a greater distance. I always mistime that, or I was just slightly too far away to hit them. But if you do the pogo on their head, they'll put their shield up, and you can just land behind them and smack them once.
Yeah, you can smack them while they're doing the lunge thing too.
I know you can, but I always
like
time it wrong. I time that wrong every fucking time.
Did you get the big slash move?
Well, eventually, and then
that
by
helps
then,
with
yeah,
those guys.
oh yeah, that helps with a lot of things. Let me tell you, the game changes as soon as you have the charge shovel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get that. I think the only upgrade I got was the lose half as much gold when you die. But by the time I got it, I was basically done earning gold. It was almost over.
I would have
kind of
gone.
regretted
I would,
that.
if I were you, I would have done some of those gem runs where it's just the level just dedicated to getting gems.
Yeah, I did a few of those, but a lot of them
and then
required
go buy
the-
that shovel because that shovel is so good.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, if I could have gone back and done more gem runs, I would have gotten the armor that will give you a charge shot after doing pogo attacks.
A lot of the
Because that would have been nice.
gem runs
one's a good
required
one.
items that I didn't have.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
And I didn't notice the guy who was selling the shit that I should have picked up, which sucks because I would have been able to do those gem runs.
It would have made the game a lot easier for you.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have. I played it on hard. That's what I'm saying. I just played it on hard mode. Just fireball
Fireball only.
Yeah, fireball only run. That's what I pulled.
You should have just gotten the ornate armor that does nothing for you and just the standard shovel and the
It
fireball.
costs like a shitload.
And then that would have been like the wooden shield stick run for Dark Souls.
Yeah,
The naked run Dark Souls. That's what you want. That's what you did.
Yeah,
well, you can't even pick up fireball at that one.
I don't know
But
if
how
you
can
can
you not pick it
Yeah,
up?
I don't know if you can't pick it up. Are
You can ignore it.
you sure?
Maybe.
Yeah.
God, I don't think
You know,
that's...
it's not required.
that would be
you can just go
brutal
find
to
it.
play the game without the fireball, dude.
It would be.
It's pretty useful. It's not...
that Spectre Knight would be nearly impossible for me if I didn't have the fucking.
I
fireball.
found a way... I got the bouncy bounce on that Spectre Knight, and I fucking leveled. Because like I caught it at like the perfect moment where like he was kind of like coming from the lower level and swinging up, and I was bouncing the whole fucking time and just like shredding him. And then he did the scythe through the air thing, so he was just sitting there, standing still.
We need
and I was like,
we need to do a compilation of our fighting these bosses with System of Down backtrack. Pogo, 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 bounce, pogo, pogo, pogo,
Yeah.
pogo, pogo, up, pogo, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down.
yeah, that's how it was for me this whole game. I was basically just Pogo Master, you know.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any of the special moves or any of the fancy shit. And that's all I
I mean,
had. Was
you
my
have the
pogo
special
stick.
moves.
Yeah, dude, that's
to
fucking
get
like all
to get to a
DuckTales
good
is
to get to a
pogoing the
good
whole
place
time.
so you can pogo. I
Yeah.
mean, that's your ultimate move. I mean, when you combo a Shield Knight, that's what she's helping you do.
So I mean, what you're telling me is we're getting J-Dogs. We're getting a big, nice Polish, big hot dog, and the fixins are what you guys had. So the dog is still there. The pogo is
Yeah.
still there.
It's just the
But you
fixings
guys got
make
the
it better.
fixins.
Yeah.
You got the celery salt. You got the special sauce. The onions. You
it's
got it
to
all.
accentuate the pogo experience.
And all I had was the fucking raw
because
dog.
because on the dismount you can
No bun.
you can then execute another attack to make it better.
No bun. Just
I
dog.
think the bun would be the armor.
Yeah. Yeah, see there, and I did buy armor, I guess, but I liked how the color changed. That was kind of cool. But I feel like you should have been able to like bedazzle your shovel, like get some gems in there.
Bedazzle your shovel.
Yeah, but I thought
that's
gameplay,
what the relics are for, basically.
Yeah. I liked the gameplay. There's collectibles in there. You can go collect all of the music sheets for the bard, and you can kind of have him play whatever song you want. There's the ability to replay levels, go find stuff you missed. Certain areas aren't really accessible unless you have some of those special abilities that you can either find in the levels or buy later. So there's a lot of kind of replayability when it comes to the levels themselves, just kind of finding everything that there is to find. Mm-hmm. A lot of secret areas. That's a big thing with these old platformers. There's a lot of like hidden stuff to like upgrade yourself. It's very Metroid, Castlevania-esque in those ways. This game, it's a little bit more hidden than...
Got that wall chicken?
Yeah.
I fucking love those wall chickens.
It's a little more hidden to me than, let's say, Symphony of the Night, where you can kind of tell what ability you need each time. And in this game, it's a lot of like... You just have to really look at the map and know that, oh, that's a wall that I can smack and break open, so there's probably something over there, but I just can't get to it right now. So there's a lot of exploration in the gameplay, and while you're out on the little mini-map, because it's like a big world map, and you get to kind of move your dude around and select which area you want to go to, you'll find like randos running around on the streets as well, and you'll have to fight them. And sometimes those guys are harder than the actual bosses. You
said the boomerang kid was harder. I did not have any trouble with the boomerang kid.
Yeah,
my favorite thing to do was to smack him before he could catch his boomerangs, and so they just kept flying around and he couldn't throw them at me again. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that made the boomerangs lethal for me, because then I've got to watch Boomerang Kid and Boomerang Kid's boomerangs flying around and like just...
It's got to track multiple items.
I was like, Kim, did you ever get the alchemy coin?
I did not. I looked at buying it, but I did not pick it up because I didn't deem it as necessary. And a chance for more treasure.
I got it, and it was really useful if I could land this fucking move with it, because like you can shovel it and it will launch at somebody and do damage. And if you do it close enough, you can like bounce it off somebody and fucking hit them at the same time. So you do like double damage, and you can keep doing it. I couldn't do it reliably, so it's
that sounds good. Like it would pair well with the charge ground slash that you get with full health.
And you can pogo off of it too, so you can like if you're fast enough, you can do some crazy shit with it. But it was hard to use.
Let's see what the speedrunners are doing.
Yeah.
I
think the current speedrun the game was saying was like 40
It was
or
like
50 minutes?
44 minutes, I think is what it said.
Yeah, that's pretty goddamn impressive considering it took me like 12 hours to beat this fucking game. Although, I mean, a lot of it's just kind of figuring out
once you memorize what the level's doing, then it becomes easier. Like,
yeah.
Why do you even have I mean, if I just paid attention, I'd know.
Yeah, and it got to the point where I was really powering through after some of the checkpoints. I would just fly through the next 3/4 of the way to the next checkpoint. Like once you get it down, you can just kind of haul ass.
I got to a point where I was
timing and patience.
Doing a speedrun type thing. Those trolls that would throw the floating gear out, that would do a little spin and then drop down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got it to where those two in that room where I would wait for him to throw it, do this hop where I hop over it, then I'd quickly turn back so it'd pass me by and then go back down and hop over him. I'm like, oh yeah, I feel legit. I feel like I can do a speed run now.
Yeah.
Just this one part.
I could speed run this in like a minute.
I could speed run this one. I could speed run the fuck out of this part, man.
Yeah, you go back and you're like, I think I could do that in 28 seconds instead of 25.
And then you'd get fucked by something else up on the level. The level with the stupid rockets that would come out randomly, just that would go so far down and up as they flew.
Yeah.
God, fuck those things, man.
The whole airship level was brutal.
Oh, I fucking hated the airship.
Because you got like a lot of jumping around, a lot of wide open spaces, and then you have little dudes that are propellers, and they just launch you whichever direction they want. And I'm like, fucking come on, man! I already have to like, jump.
The only thing that made that level tolerable after a while was the propeller dagger. It was. It makes it so you can like.
I didn't have it for that level.
Oh, you didn't get
it? No, I only got it for like the last little bit.
I wish I would have known. you know?
Play it again.
It was a lot of fun trying to not die and use the wind to your advantage, though.
Yeah.
When the wind would just change directions on you.
Oh, that was...
fuck you over. Yeah.
I kind of
It's fun
mastered
stuff.
that part, too, where I could
Yeah.
kind of, like, I would just get stuck on the bottom of the one little square just long enough for it to, like, carry me just over the lip, and then I'd just fall back down when the wind was sucking me back down, and I was like... It was just
I would always
beautiful.
time it to where I could shovel dive those floating jellyfish things, though. Because
Oh, yeah.
I need to kill them.
Yeah, everything must die in the
Yep.
Cameron run. No survivors. One of the cool things that the game offers is there's a lot of like using the enemies to get past the area that you're in. So like you'll find like a bunch of the mice with the helicopter mice, you know, and you
they'll
have
be
to
placed in a certain pattern for you to pogo off of them to get to the other areas. Yeah.
to get to the areas that then collapse under your weight, and you have to jump to the next group of mice and bounce
Then
off of them.
Fucking electric jellyfish things. You have to time their electricity run just right so you can pogo across.
Yeah, a lot of that. And the nice thing about this game is when you leave an area, it kind of like pans over and you get the new screen. You can go back and it'll reset everything. So like if you fucked up the pogo,
But you can't do that to farm gold or items. It won't let you do
yeah,
that.
which is unfortunate because the game loves taking your things from you.
Yeah.
But it does not love giving you the chance to earn it back. You have to collect it from the ground or you're fucked.
And then even still, I don't think it gives you everything back. I still think you lose some even if you collect your gold.
It seems that it feels that way.
Now, I'm pretty sure because I ended up with 0 gold at the very end, and I was picking up sacks until I couldn't anymore.
Yeah.
Till there were no sacks to give.
Yeah, no sacks. Lots of different ways to play the game, obviously. You can go straight up, no fireball, only run. You can get all the collectibles. There's a lot of extra stuff to do. And, of course, we played the Switch version. We've got 2 more campaigns that we could run through with different characters. Kind of give us a little more backstory.
I don't know if we have the secret bosses. There's 2 that I know of. There's the one that was for the PlayStation that was Kratos from God of War.
Oh, that's cool.
And it gives you a special armor for beating him. It's called the Chaos Armor. And you have to collect coins in order to like fuel your rage.
So what happens when you rage?
I don't know. I think it's just you get bonus damage.
Oh, that'd be legit for certain bosses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that'd be cool.
I just know that you get like a super awesome armor for beating him, and then you can fight the Battle Toads in another one, but I don't know which system that's for. It might be for the Switch, but I'm not 100%. I didn't find it, so I don't know.
Yeah, the game's pretty linear as far as like gameplay goes. So really, I don't know. I enjoyed playing it. I mean, as brutal as it was, like, and Cameron, I messaged Cameron, and Cameron was like, "Man, the more I play it, the less I want to play it."
It's like every time I play this game, I realize how much I don't want to play this game.
Yeah, but for me, I was really motivated to play it. I was like, man, I'm having kind of a lot of fun with this thing. Like, I haven't really played too many of these type of games before, and it's because I'm not really that good at platformers, I've discovered. I'm just not. Like, I don't know what it is. There's something dickish about the platformer, and this one especially. This platformer likes to fuck you.
Okay. So Battletoads
Hard.
is only for Xbox, and Kratos was for PlayStation.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
Switch doesn't get anything extra. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they should make it so you fight Mario.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Mario riding on Yoshi.
Yeah.
You get an extra bounce or something from them.
Yeah. Or you get to ride Yoshi.
I don't see how that would work. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that would change
Yoshi
the
gets
game.
Yoshi gets the shovel, and you just ride on Yoshi.
And it's just the same mechanics, except you're just so it's like nothing.
You just
a
move
visual, yeah.
faster.
Oh, what if you can just, you can ride Yoshi around, right? There's nothing really different. Except if you go over a gap, you can then sacrifice him to get further.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's,
Man,
it's the only way forward. But, yeah, I kind of had a lot of fun playing the game. I liked the boss battles quite a bit. I mean, I mostly did the propeller or the pogo move on almost all of them. But it was fun kind of like getting in there and like getting your ass kicked and being like, wow, okay, let's look at the boss's mechanics. And then like 2 tries later, you
I think
beat him.
the boss that was like that the most for me was the second time I faced Shovel Knight. I'm like, He's all over the place, and he's killing
You
the
mean,
shit out of me.
Black Knight?
Yeah, Black Knight. Second time you face Black Knight. And then I realized, oh, what if I did that? And it worked perfectly. And I didn't have a problem with him.
Yeah, at the very end in the Battle Royale, the first time I died to... I think I died to the French guy first, the...
Propeller Knight?
Propeller Knight, yeah. Because he was kind of one of the tougher fights for me in the game. Like, he wasn't that hard. I died a ton to the
If you do enough damage to him in the very beginning, you can skip his bomb phase altogether.
Yeah.
And that's... his bomb phase is the one that hurts the most.
Yeah, because he's got his bombs going, and he's also, like, propelling them
strafing you.
towards
No. So as he throws the bombs down, and you're trying to shovel the bombs away from you, he'll do strafing runs on you to hit you while you're focusing on the bombs.
Yeah.
And then if you do enough damage to him while you're just doing that, then he'll suck you and all the bombs into him, so you get like multiple bomb damage.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
his bombs.
died to him, and then I died to the Scythe Lady too.
Spectre Knight?
Yeah, Spectre, and then
I hate Spectre Knight when she like turns off all the lights so you can't see shit.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I ever lost to her. It's because I couldn't see anything when I was trying to beat her.
lots of I don't know. I thought the boss fights were really fun, and I thought that final mission was awesome. Doing all of the bosses like in a row, I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, fighting them in reverse.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really reverse. It was just random.
No, if you go through it all,
me.
if you do it the first time all the way through, it's in reverse. If you don't die, but if you die, and come back later, then it's the next boss in line that you'll fight instead of the one you just fought before.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that's when it becomes random?
Yeah, well, it's not random because it's just still going down the boss line.
Oh, okay.
But in reverse. But if you die, then it's the next guy in line who you fight first.
Yeah, it was just in reverse. That's what I felt like.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you die enough, you can fight them in the right order.
yeah. Keep dying until you get the true canon ending there. With the bosses in reverse order.
Spectre Knight is whatever Spectre Knight wants to be. A4. He says that Spectre Knight is a dude he thought, but you know.
Well,
what?
you can choose
them.
the gender. At
You can
the menu.
choose their gender for them.
Well, I don't
They-
want to. I didn't.
It's whatever
wanna,
they
If
feel
I
they
had
want to
known
be.
that, I would have made them all female.
Everyone is they them in this game. Everyone
Yeah.
must be
Everyone,
addressed
yeah,
as
they're
numerous
both.
people.
They're gender fluid in this game.
Yeah. I thought it was a girl because it's wearing a dress.
I
but-
think standard is a
It's a
trick. At
robe
least it was for
thing.
me when
Yeah.
I started it.
I mess with everyone's gender, so I don't know. I don't know what's what anymore.
I changed them depending on, like, if I lost to them, then I'd change their gender, and then if I lost again, I'd change it back.
That's weird.
I just wanted to see the alternate sprite.
Oh, okay.
Did
okay.
it change much?
Some of them, yeah.
Maybe they
the,
were all chicks for me because I changed
Spectre
them all to
Knight
chicks.
had less armor and became more slim when you changed it to female, and then
Figures.
like that's kind of how they all were.
Yeah, they're always wearing less clothes.
And then Polar Knight just has he loses the beard.
would you say that? Would you say that Spectre Knight was asking to get destroyed because of what she was wearing?
No.
No, I think I did have them all as chicks though, because like I said the same thing with the mechanic one, where I was like, it looks like a girl.
It was definitely a little midget guy for me.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
think it's because I
Tinker
changed it all, and then I forgot that I changed them all. But I think I changed all of them to like dudes that had female voices or something. So like it was a weird
They
mix.
did the female voice lines,
I
but
think
they
so.
had the male body.
or the opposite. It might have been the opposite.
Where they were all chicks but had the male voice lines.
You know what? I think that's what I did because they all had like dude voices and like dude sounding dialogue, but they were all female for me. So
Like how can you tell what voices they had in a game where they don't have voices?
I don't know. You could just
It's
you
the way
feel
they
it.
talk, I think. I think it changes the dialogue box and whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, there was something about it that I just kind of knew it was.
I'm not sure exactly what changes, but
Yeah,
because they don't talk to you again when you like switch their thing after you fight them. So
that was kind of an interesting aspect to the game, being able to do that. I mean, it's one thing to have a game like Apex Legends where it just gives that to you. It's another to let you choose. I mean, this is true.
Why are you so hung up about Apex Legends? It's just a game you can
It's
enjoy.
true. This is true progress. Apex Legends is just flaunting it, right? This is letting you be what you want to be.
I mean, I don't see how they're flaunting it. You have to actually go look it up to know.
I guess that's true. But this, you get to choose your own gender. I mean, you get to decide what you are.
It kind of adds to replay to be able to like switch the
Alternate
sprites
universe
and whatever.
playthrough.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you can switch the sprites, and it just like adds that extra visual change, so you don't like get bored of playing the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool. I think it's a cool gameplay function. It's just kind of fun to just mess around with the characters and see how things pan out differently, because like it doesn't really matter,
Yeah.
It's really kind of whatever, but I think it's a cool little interesting feature that I haven't seen before ever, I mean, in any game that I've ever heard of or played, I've never seen such a thing, so I thought it was pretty cool.
It's funny?
What?
I just remembered that I made Shield Knight a chick and changed everybody else to a dude, including the Enchantress. So whenever it talked about the Enchanter, it would always use her, like, right after when they were talking about it, because, like, Shield Knight and the Enchanter were the same person.
Yeah.
So it would always be like, the Enchanter she is doing something evil. but it was a dude and the chick at the same time.
But thankfully, it used the proper pronouns, and thank God. Thank God.
Because the new Shield Knight was a chick, but everything else about it was a dude. And I was like, why is it? And then I figured it out at the end. I was like, oh, that's why.
That's why you put your pronouns on your Twitter page. They went to Shield Knight's Twitter page and they saw him.
Yeah, it treated it as a dude, but as a chick at the same time. It was really confusing.
They called her Enchanter, but then referred to her as her afterwards. So it covered the bases. They were like...
Oh, A4 adds something important here.
Oh, he says that that was an update. It wasn't in the original game.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know that. That's kind of a cool little thing, though. I thought I was going to mock it more, but I was like, nah, it's just kind of whatever. It's kind of a cool way to like change up the feel of the game.
I do like that it actually changes the sprites.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. That now I'm just a fucking woman beater, though. I mean, Shovel Knight's just fucking... a drunk redneck, and he's like, ah! It's like some grave digger that's like super trash, just beating as many wives,
Well, except you save them all in the end, so...
That's true, I did save. Well, I had to beat him first to save him. I try to use that in defense in the courts, but
Wait,
it doesn't
you saved him?
Well, yeah, because you save everybody from the Enchantress,
Oh, I thought you meant like when they're hanging off the ledge.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't.
You didn't save him?
I just like walked past. I was like, fuck you guys.
What does it do when you do that?
He just like walks on.
Oh, I wonder what happens.
I don't know if it changes the ending at all. The person who saved me when he gets knocked out was Black Knight.
Well, yeah, you didn't fight Black Knight there. I saved him. I pulled them all up. You just talk to them.
Yeah.
They're still not friendly to you, but...
Oh. Well, I killed them all, I guess. I just let them hang there.
The only one that's friendly is...
I wonder if you can kill them. That'd be awesome if you could, like, shovel their fingers.
Yeah.
No,
fall off.
if you shovel them, it pulls them up.
Aw, damn it.
It's like Lion King. It's like, I am king.
Oh, maybe you have to pogo the
I wonder if
hand.
you could do that. Yeah, you have to play it again, find out, Craig.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try and kill them all.
Yeah,
Like, fuck you guys, all of you at once.
That would be pretty sweet. But yeah, I saved him because I was like, come on, you got to save these guys,
They all used to be comrades at some point, apparently. So
yeah, supposedly. Yeah, there's quite a bit of gameplay to be had, especially if you buy the Switch version with the extra little campaigns. I thought it was pretty fun, though. I kind of want to play more of these old-style games. I feel like it's a game type that I never got into for numerous reasons. The biggest of those being that I'm not good at this kind of shit.
At the platformers?
Yeah, and it is. I'm telling you, man, I feel like an idiot when I play these games. Like, I feel like an absolute moron.
You shouldn't, because they're difficult, and they're meant to be.
But I took forever.
So many times I got killed by... Like, I felt like I was just... I was being precise. I felt like I just need to go to this one spot, and you ended up going, like, an inch too far and getting crushed. And you're just like, no, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, or
I'm
like...
supposed to be there, not there.
You remember platforming in Symphony of the Night, and then getting smacked by a Medusa head out of nowhere?
Yeah.
That's way worse than anything in Shovel Knight.
I don't know, dude.
Because they do that in every Castlevania game, And I fucking hate Medusa heads, especially the ones that turn you to stone if you hit them.
Did you guys ever find, like, your button inputs didn't count? Like, you could have sworn you pressed jump, and you did not jump.
I have a thing that's going on with my left Joy-Con where it's drifting, like, up.
My left one's the weird one, too. It doesn't...
I don't have any problems with the Joy-Con.
You know what's funny, though, is it is a... I guess it's a known Nintendo Switch thing where, like, the Joy-Cons...
Yeah, they start drifting.
Sometimes they, like... The system doesn't think they're attached when they're actually
I can
attached.
swear that sometimes, though, when I jump, it doesn't jump. But then sometimes when I'm going to sword slash someone, it turns me the other way real fast and back.
Yeah, I saw that with the magic a few times. I'm like, why the fuck is he shooting it behind him? I was walking this way, you know?
That never happened for me, but he did jump, like, randomly when I didn't want him to.
My guy.
There's a ghost in the machine.
Jump. He wouldn't jump. And I'm like,
ghost in the machine.
It's like I'm sitting there and you get in the game mode where you're like analyzing everything going on. Your inputs are perfect, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to be here, and you're executing attacks. All of a sudden, you feel yourself pressing the jump button, and you know where you're supposed to be going, but you don't.
He just fucking slides off.
You fall to the ground, and you're just like, I pressed jump there. I know I did.
There was
Did
lot
you guys use the stick or the D-pad?
Oh, the D-pad. No one's going to use stick for this
I
game.
had to use the stick because
Oh,
otherwise
God.
the Joy-Con drift would fuck me.
Oh,
The stick would have been...
I used the stick the whole game.
The stick would have been terrible, guys.
Oh, it is. I was hating it. I was like, I want to use
This
the D-pad
game was
so
made
bad.
for the D-pad.
It was. Every platformer is.
That is true. The D-pad is more precise.
Oh, man.
But
Some frustrating moments there.
I had a lot of moments where I would do the right thing and I'd get hit and I would like bounce back and I would land perfectly, but I would just like think I needed to adjust just a little bit more and I would fall. That happened probably 40 of my deaths.
I don't know
It's
if we can blame the game or we can blame the Switch for it. I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, though? Where, like, you get hit and you're like, oh, I'll just slide a little more to the side. And then you overdo it and you fly off. And you're like, fuck, I was ready.
It's really easy to overjudge things, yeah.
I had this bitch down. I was like, I'm going to get hit. I'm going to pull this way to fucking get there. And then, Jesus Christ, dude, the last area, I died so many fucking times in the last area. Like, you do the dive bomb pogo attack. You break through the floor, and then suddenly the floor is just like launching itself at you.
Oh, yeah, that was bullshit. I was like, what the fuck?
I died so many fucking times there, dude. I was just like...
I died a couple times, but it was mostly because I was trying to dodge out of the way. I stayed on my one little square, and you could shovel the things coming at you.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, you can just basic attack them, and then they disappear.
You have to get the timing just right, though.
Fuck, dude, I didn't know that. I didn't know I could bounce attacks back until the fucking end boss.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, that's brutal, dude. Like,
I know.
That's like half of
Dude,
what I did.
Against the Enchantress, I got the feat for the Reflect Master because I reflected all of her initial attacks at me.
Nice.
So
I didn't even do it with hers.
And honestly,
how did you not
because
you can do it to Mole Knight. You can reflect the little things that he tosses.
You can reflect a lot of attacks. You can reflect the Plague Doctor's vials he throws at you. You can, a lot of stuff is reflectable.
I think Mole Knight the second time at the very end was when I found out I could do that.
Dude, and the Enchantress reflecting her attacks is seriously the thing that does the most damage against her.
I believe it because they do a lot of damage to me. Just fucking like, just like reflecting it off of a shovel.
It's funny because you can see me just go in Zen mode as she shoots her slow 4 attacks, and I reflect. Then she shoots 3 real fast and 3 real fast, and as focus real hard, you have to push forward on the D-pad or else you're not going to get them all. And then reflect, and then do, and then if you get all of it, you get the feat of the perfect reflector.
Nice.
Reflect Lord or something like that. So yeah,
very nice, very nice. Lots of fun though. I thought it was a pretty fun little
Which
game.
one was your favorite boss to fight, and then which one was the hardest?
Favorite? I kind of liked the machine one. Like it was
Tinker
the one.
Knight?
Yeah, Tinker Knight had the most to it.
I think I had the most fun fighting the Spectre Knight.
Yeah, once you got the pogo down, like if you can get the pogo, you know what I'm talking about. Like
you know what I'm talking about.
when
the pogo.
when she
you get that
goes
pogo down,
when
it's
she
nice.
goes down and then she goes back up and then she does the like cross the map one and you're just
Yeah.
pogoing her ass the whole time, just
Yeah.
fucking. She just melts, dude. He, she, whatever. Like, because they're just waiting for their little sight to get around the whole map, and you're just like, fucking, fucking, yeah, man. It was great. Once you find out how to beat him, you fucking beat him. That's the thing about this game is like the bosses. It's first.
You know what? I have nothing really like. I enjoyed fighting certain bosses, but I had no boss that I disliked. I think I disliked probably Polar Knight or the Sea Knight the most. Treasure Knight.
Oh, really?
Just because I just didn't like their style. They weren't hard.
Yeah.
Like the bosses themselves, I never had a boss that
yeah,
I was
they're super fucking
extremely
easy.
hating because they were too difficult. Once you figure out how to beat them, you beat them.
Spectre was
It's
that for
you
me.
a better question to be, what level did you hate playing the most?
Okay, what
fucking
level
airship
did you... Yeah, the airship was the worst one for me.
You know what? I did not have that many issues with the airship level altogether. The ice level I hated so much.
Yeah, ice was kind of rough, but dude, the airship
ice level was easy for me.
I was trying to beat it last night, and I was like, why is this fucking level taking me so long? Like, and I would, like, get super far, and then I would do a jump, and then one of those assholes would, like, flip around and, like, helicopter blade and push me with the air, and I'd fall to my death, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this game? Like,
Yeah.
what is your problem?
I still hate that.
The
some
airship
more.
level just reminded me of an easier version of the air level from Mega Man 2, and it was still fucking really hard.
Yeah.
I disliked the beginning of the gate area with the fucking moving walls up and down that would crush you.
Oh, that was
because you couldn't tell what
I was used to that
coming.
because Mario does that shit a lot.
You couldn't tell where you needed to go before you needed to be there.
Yeah, you had to die to find out what to do.
Sometimes, yeah.
basically. That was kind of brutal too.
Yeah.
That one killed me a decent amount. And then there was a lot of like you had to jump at a very specific time, or the wall would be too high and you'd just fall down and die. And then when you fall down there, you can't collect your bags of coin because they're just in that fucking wide open space that you will have to die to collect again.
Exactly. So any much gold there was lost.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what?
Whatever
the
you drop, you
Treasure
lose.
Knight's level got really bullshit too when that one fish sub boss was coming after you in that bullshit platforming part.
Oh yeah, that was I died like twice.
Yeah, I
to
fucking hated that.
I don't.
where the fish is chasing you down and you have to like jump
Where it has
across
like the fish that has like the treasure chest like dangling from
Yeah,
the
'cause
cliff.
you
Oh
try to
yeah,
grab
yeah,
it.
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
yeah.
there's like the platforming that gets really bullshit.
I think I beat him my second try. I don't think I had many difficulties with him. Obviously, I didn't remember him off the bat.
Yeah, I didn't die a ton to him. I only did it like 2 or 3 times.
It was just a really bullshit part. It's probably one of the few times I died like
I died more times
more
to
than
the
4 times
to the
that part.
to the fucking boat with propellers that people were pedaling to get to go up and slam and throw the bombs down.
Oh, that wasn't anywhere near as bad as the fucking fish part.
I died more to him than I did to the fish guy.
Yeah, it's weird that we all have kind of different death experiences. Like we all sucked at different things. I was saying I was like I haven't died to platforming this much since I played Bounty Hunter. Like Jesus fucking Christ! I'm just remembering that like little rock in the middle of the room, and I'm just like, oh, I can't make it.
Or the fucking like
The feeling of despair when you're sitting on a platform in the middle of the canyon, you can see nothing, and you know that's the way you have to go. You're like, well,
the fucking floating platform.
I'm on my last life. Here's the hope that something's there.
Every inch of your fuel to get to.
And what's there is the fucking barn door in Red Dead Redemption. Spoilers. You fucking open the barn and it's just right around the canyon. That's what you see. It's like a barn door. You just pop it
You're
open
like,
and there's
"Oh,
a bunch of fucking
shit."
Pinkertons.
Here's the hope, and something's there to land on. And yeah, there was something there to land on. They just all had rockets there too.
Yeah, which of course launch
And
the
they're fucking
fuck out of
homing
you.
rockets.
Yeah,
The second they see a fucking sliver of you, they're fucking coming.
it's COD. It's fucking
Yeah, the
Call of Duty classic
Call
on-
of Duty
I bet-
classic. You like poke your gun at it behind a wall, just like even a little bit, and then the fucking dude on the cannon with the machine gun's like,
I bet if I hadn't broken the game to where everyone's T-posing when I'm not looking at them, if you had a camera over there, they're just fucking tracking you through the wall,
just T-posing at you still, just like
just
looking at
tracking
you
you
with the
through the
pose.
wall. And as soon as any part of your character is visible, it's just And so you come around the corner, all these rockets are already coming at you.
Oh man, that level was brutal because everyone has that, and then the guys with the heavy blasters. You remember that?
Yeah. I played the game. I was there.
Why? Why is this guy here?
I'm just glad I had the least amount of difficulty with the game.
Got 99% accuracy in a gun that shoots like 30 rounds a second.
Although the next time, if I ever find myself playing that game again, it will be with a turbo controller.
Yeah.
So you can infinite blast.
Yeah, there's no carpal tunnel, man. Playing that game,
Yeah.
you have to do the whole thing where you're moving the controller and your hand at the same time to get the double hit on.
Yeah.
I'd like
you've
to
gotta,
get something like that for Devil May Cry, because you can do that same thing for Dante's guns.
For the first playthrough, it's not pure,
there's no
though.
cap.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The first playthrough, it's
just
not,
as
not
fast
pure
as
to
you
use a
press
turbo
it. So
controller.
if you have a turbo controller, you just be like,
the gun
melting
becomes the best weapon
everything.
in the game.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But can you imagine, though, using a turbo controller and then stepping on the grenade launcher?
You're just so dead the game crashes.
Because that was
everything's out.
That was a brilliant mechanic, to automatically switch you to the weapon you walk over. That's just fucking
That's
perfect,
the fucking
right?
worst thing in the world. I fucking died to that so many goddamn times.
Okay, no, we're not reviewing that game again.
No,
So back to Shovel
it's
Knight.
still shit.
What would you give gameplay?
I think I'm going to give it a 9, personally. I thought it was pretty damn good. I think some of the platforming is a little bit too unforgiving, though. Like, there's some really brutal parts.
No, it exacts precision from you.
And I just don't
But I'm
have
also going to give it a 9.
Yeah, 9 for me too.
Right.
It's kind of funny that you give it a 9 when you're like, I don't want to play this.
I didn't say I didn't. Okay, I would just... So the game itself was not bad. The gameplay was good. But every time I played it, I'd just rather be playing something else.
It's just not your jam.
Not my jam, I guess.
Fair enough. Sound and music. So...
I think it excelled here, though, too. The music, though, was really good.
Yeah.
So every time
I love the
I
boss
went back to
music,
the
the
main
music
city,
for
I
each
would
level.
have the bard go play me a different song
Yeah.
as I was there.
I like that feature
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. I think the soundtrack was pretty solid in this thing. I mean, it's got the old classic, like, 16-bit soundtrack or whatever. Some of the pieces are pretty memorable, though, like the main town theme. Like, I kind of know. I can think of it in my head. I can play it to myself. Some of the boss themes were pretty cool.
Yeah, there's that sweet theme that we saw in the trailer.
Yeah. The sounds are, like, fine. It's just kind of old 8-bit sounding
Shovel sounds,
yeah. I didn't really... There's no voice acting, of course.
No. But there is a huge variety. Like, the music is, where the game excels in the sound design. And there's a huge variety of tracks to listen to throughout the game.
Yeah, and each track you can unlock by finding the music sheets, and you can play it in town. And
then the bard gives you some gold for it, which is nice.
And after you beat the game once, you unlock the sound test feature, which just lets you listen to any music without having to load in the game. You can just listen to it from the start menu.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. You could just kind of peruse, fall asleep to some Shovel Knight soundtrack if you so desire. But this is like one of those. This is one of those categories where there's not a whole lot to talk about. 'Cause it's just, I think it's good.
They didn't
musically.
need much, but they brought a lot.
Yeah, I think they kind of went above and beyond what was necessary for the game, because there are some pretty great little pieces in there. A lot of the boss themes, like I said, some of the level themes are pretty cool. I never felt like I wanted to turn the volume off because of the soundtrack or anything like that, which is always a good sign. Because even sometimes in Final Fantasy, it'll get to that point where I'm like,
Well, since you're listening to the same song for like 50 hours because you're just walking around.
it gets to a point where I don't want to.
You don't want to listen to it anymore.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to listen to it anymore. But this game, I never really reached that point.
Yeah,
and I had a lot.
Songs changed enough so that you could enjoy, and it was short enough that it didn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna give it a 10. I didn't have any problems with it at all as far as the soundtrack goes. No voice acting, but
10 for me as well.
All right. What about you, Craig?
Same. It perfectly captures the NES style games with like the little sounds when people are talking. Does the little kind of thing, and then
yeah.
and then it's got the the 8-bit, 16-bit soundtrack. Whatever. It all good tracks. I didn't have a single one that I was like I didn't really care for that one, but yeah, it's really good.
All right, so the design of the game, it's supposed to look like a certain thing, and that is the classic games, the classic side-scrollers, the Mega Mans, the...
Yeah, it's
Castlevanias,
basically supposed to be like a NES game, but done with like SNES graphics.
Yeah. And I think it captures that exactly.
Yeah.
I think the visuals are pretty cool for what they are. It's one of those cool things like looking at Final Fantasy IV, the after years on PSP, where it's like kind of a more cleaned up version.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit messier than that one, but I think it's supposed to be. Like,
it's still trying to be like a NES game. That's why there's like so many like areas that are just black instead of having like any colors.
Yeah,
it's because they're trying to be like because NES games couldn't have that many like pixels or sprites or whatever. Like they had to conserve, so they were trying to capture that kind of idea. And the old Castlevania games do that a lot, where there's a lot of black or dark areas because they can't have a lot for the background of the castle.
Yeah.
So they do like little brick layouts, but the whole thing is black, that kind of thing. They try to capture that a little bit in this game. They do it really well.
Yeah, I thought all of that was really solid. I like the boss designs. I like the level designs for the most part. I thought they looked cool. At the very least. I mean, you're kind of doing the same thing in each level. They all kind of have their own platformy feel. Like, there's the ice level where you have to get used to, like, sliding around and dying all the time because you slip just a little too far off the ice. You've got the wind level, and its design is appropriate for that. But I like the background designs. I like the looks of the bosses, and... yeah, the final area was pretty cool looking.
I do like the designs of the levels and the bosses a lot, especially when they change the way that you move around. Like for the first couple levels, you got the bubbles that you're popping off, and then the underwater level, you got the tentacles that you're like jumping along or killing to get rid of stuff, and then you got the little platforms that ride up. Just the different things that they have that are basically the same function in other levels. They change the design of, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the addition to make the change the sprites for the bosses to make them male or female is cool. Great addition.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of adds more to the visual aspect of the game. I didn't find any like visual glitches or anything either. I honestly didn't find any glitches at all in this game. It was pretty well put together for me. I'm sure Craig found something.
What about the glitch that you sent us where you were like jumping on the
That was not
thing?
a glitch.
Yeah,
that was him being dumb.
That was working as intended.
It just wasn't dying?
No, because the griffin
way.
is armored on its head. You can't kill it that way. You have to attack its face.
I did the propeller dagger through it. So I
didn't even kill it?
I didn't even kill it.
No,
I just went through it.
I didn't end up killing it either.
Well, you probably got hit and phased through it when you were blinking. Is probably what you did. But what you're supposed to do is stand in between the dumping cauldrons, and then in between attacks that he's shooting at you, then you jump up and attack his face.
Oh.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, I thought it was like glitching on him, and he was just like freaking out.
All you have to do is stand in the spot that tells you to fuck. Like you couldn't have even a bigger spotlight on the spot you're supposed to stand on. The one spot you're not hit by anything by standing there, and then in between the griffin's attacks, you jump up, fireball, anchor, whatever have you that you like to use, and shoot at his face, and then rinse and repeat until he's dead. Yeah, that's all you had to do.
All right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it wasn't really a glitch. It was just a weird-looking thing. So yeah, I think the design of this game is great. I don't have any problems with it. I liked the optional little areas. I thought each character had their own cool little unique design in town.
Yeah.
I thought it was well put together as far as the visuals go.
I enjoyed the final boss change when after Shield Knight gets released, then you fight the true enchantress.
Yeah.
And then I like the fact that you got the Shovel Knight armor changes. Like you get the purple one that I used, and then that red one that you guys used. Then there's the silver one, and then the ornate one, which I didn't end up using at all because it was useless.
Yeah.
And then I like how they had the sprite change for Black Knight when she like cast a spell on him to make him evil and attack you. Stuff like that was really cool.
Yeah.
When you during the lava level, when you like shoveled the grass things to like cover the lava, was cool.
Yeah. Was that grass? Is that what that was supposed to be?
I think so. It's like something.
I thought it was like toxic sludge. You just turned it into
grass
fucking,
or moss. I don't know.
You turned
what
it into
was.
Jello.
What do you think it was, Cam?
The ooze.
I guess we all have different things.
I mean,
I don't know what it was.
Or ooze.
You just like toss it onto the lava and then it changed to grass or whatever.
Yeah. No, it changed it into okay, this is what it was. So it's slime that falls down. You hit the slime and turn lava into ooze, and long enough for you to then bounce off to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's plasma.
Because everyone knows that slime coats things, and everyone knows that ooze is bouncy.
It coats lava.
Exactly, and everyone knows that lava loses out to ooze, but beats flesh.
Yes, it does.
Which, of course,
and then
beats
flesh
ooze.
beats ooze. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's your new rock paper scissors.
Fucking lava.
Flesh lava ooze.
Flesh lava ooze. Yeah, it's the new rock paper scissors.
And
Shovel
then
Knight
the
edition.
slime is not to be confused with slimes, which are embodiments of ooze.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they can actually attack you.
Those are people.
Yeah.
Those
But
are,
you can still use slime. So when you fight a fire slime, then you need some environment slime to then turn him back into a normal slime.
Yeah. Fire slimes.
But beware of normal slime, because normal slimes are they're made of volatile substances. So if they are introduced to lava, they turn into fire slimes.
Yeah. It's kind of like a zombie. Like, the worst thing to do to a zombie is to light him on fire, because then you have a flaming zombie running at you. It's kind of that way with the slimes in this game. Like, when they become on fire, they start dealing some serious damage.
Yeah, it's no more. You can't pogo them, I don't think, very effectively anymore. You have to smack them with your shovel.
And there were parts where there were 4 fire slimes right below me, and I had to drop back down there to break part of the wall that I was standing on, because I didn't have enough distance to jump up and pogo, and I was like, fucking slime horde down there. I just wish they would have started Daisy hive minding their way up to fucking to the top. I'm just like, no.
Why would you want that?
Fucking why not? The game's already fucking me hard. Like, might as well just have hive mind mechanics where they just fucking stack until the last one comes up and tags me and shoves me off the ledge.
Fucking hive mind for propeller rats.
Oh yeah.
You want that shit? You want the king propeller rat?
I kind of wanted it.
Where it's just like a shitload of propeller rats tied together.
I kind of wanted to kill their leader. In fact, yeah, I did sort of want to end the propeller rats lineage, crush their kingdom, throw it into disarray. Because of what they did to me.
The rats I hated the most are
rat
the
night.
explodey rats.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
those
yeah.
are kind of brutal too.
I hate them because I never think to die. I mean, I fought this enemy so many times, but I never think to move once I've killed it. I'm like,
yeah, because it's a fucking mouse.
I've killed it and it's dead. In my mind, I need to find the next threat, and the mouse fucking blows up.
Yeah, and it's brutal in the last part too, because
It's
you're
that, what is that perk called?
And then
when you
martyrdom.
yeah,
And then-
they have martyrdom.
And then it's like this game is trying to teach you how to learn the mechanics and to grow, and that's like the one mechanic I could never learn. It's to fucking the green rat bad. Kill and run. And it's just I just forget about it every time until it happens.
It sucked in the last area too, because when you're kind of climbing that final zone and the map is just creeping up towards you, which reminded me and kind of made me want to play Catherine. I was like, I kind of miss Catherine right now.
You know that new version of Catherine's coming out soon. That third Catherine.
Just
It
like
is,
the
yeah.
one mechanic you're too dumb to learn.
And yeah, the
your
mouse
brain's
would,
holding on to too much at that point. It just refuses
the
to
mouse
seep in.
and the mouse would explode and the map would fall out beneath you and you just fucking fall into the black screen and die. And I'm like, fucking mouse, fuck you, man. Why are you putting him up here with these
And then the
volatile blocks
Electric
of hay?
mice are like those enemies that wait for just a sliver of you to be showing, and then fucking dive bomb as fast as they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the rats I hated. The fucking propeller mice, easy compared to them.
Those are lazy rats. Yeah, I loved the design, though. I'm going to give the design a 10 as well. I didn't have a single problem with it. I like the way it looks. It's super nostalgic. But again, like I said...
Nostalgic for games you never played.
Yeah, it's like, don't you remember not playing these games because you didn't like them? You do, don't you? But I still appreciate the way it looks.
Having played every game that this game is like based off of, it did capture a lot of nostalgia for me, and I give it a 10 as well.
All right, what about you, Cameron?
I even played freaking DuckTales.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on that final boss, though.
I heard it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's fucking Dracula, but he's a duck. It's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, the game, it deserves a 10 in design.
All right, so replayability.
DuckTales final boss is way harder than this final boss.
Second, yeah, this final boss was easy. I thought the fucking Scythe one was tougher. I mean, once I got it down, I guess maybe not, but I don't know.
Still died way more times than Spectre Knight.
The game is tough. The map is the final boss.
The map is the final boss.
Yeah.
The ascent, and then the battle.
I think they
royale.
should have done that. There should have been just like a piece of paper that looks just like the fucking world map, and that's what you have to fight. And it's like the map has been the boss the whole time.
Just a piece of grid paper.
It's been molding you and forming you to create the ultimate showdown here. An 8x11 piece of paper, a knight with a shovel. Go. Replayability.
For chivalry.
Though. Yeah. The last gameplay category. Will you play this game again? Are there reasons for you to play the game again? Do you have a draw to play the game again?
Well, personally, I might play the game again as Plague Knight because that sounds like fun.
Just throwing vials all fucking day.
But I think replayability for me is about a 7.
Okay.
I think there's plenty of reason to play it again. You got the DLCs for Spectre Knight and for Plague Knight, and depending on if if I want to play a different version, like the PlayStation one, then I can go and attack Kratos and see how that is. And then, of course, I think there was another DLC section that was coming for, but I don't remember. And then trying to speed run it now that you know the game and whatever. I think that would be kind of a fun idea. See how fast I can beat it in. So I think I'm going to give it a 9.
All right, 9 for Craig. I think I'm going to split it right down the middle. There are a lot of reasons to play this game again. I kind of want to play it again. I do want to play the DLCs just because it would be cool to kind of play this type of game with a different character. And that's exactly what the DLCs will give you with Plague Knight and Spectre Knight.
Yeah.
This isn't really my cup of tea, though, necessarily, which is sort of my own fault, just because I'm not good at these type of games. That's not really the game's fault or anything like that. But I'm going to give it an 8.
How many of the platformers have you played?
I don't think I've beaten another platformer. I don't think so. I never beat any of the Super Mario Bros. I mean, Symphony of the Night, I guess, is a platformer.
Yeah, it's more of a side-scroller RPG, but yeah, there is platforming in there.
That Metroid Prime is kind of the same way.
Metroid is more platformer. It's less RPG. It's more like an action platformer.
You think even with Prime?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of platforming.
There's a lot of platforming in those games.
So my experience with this genre is actually pretty light, and I could tell based on my playtime and how hard it was for me to just fine-tune some of those abilities in the game, some of those jumps and those bounces and those pogos and stuff, It's but there's a lot of reasons to replay the game, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 overall. So combined...
Did you put a Z in your own name?
Yeah, it's Shvizis.
Shviz, yeah.
Shweezis.
Shweezis, yeah. It's your Lord and Savior Shweezis. I was typing it with one hand, to be fair. I don't know where the Z came from.
I don't know where the Z came from either.
Your Messiah Shweezis.
I was thinking the next Shovel Knight, it should be called Shovel Knight 2 Chivalry in Spades.
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
Chivalry in spades.
In spades, but it's like in space. Chivalry in spades. So overall, Caleb Craig gave it a 47 out of 50, Cameron gave it a 44 out of 50, and I gave it a 45 for a combined 136 out of 150, and we'll get into what that truly breaks down to. But first, I want to go over our overall scores real quick for you guys. Story, 9 from Craig, 8s from me and Cameron. Gameplay, 9s across the board. Sound and music, 10s across the board. Design, 10s across the board again. Replayability, 9 from Craig, 7 from Cameron, 8 from me. Final thoughts, guys, on Shovel Knight.
I think if you have any nostalgia for any NES game or platformer at all, this is definitely the game for you. It plays a lot like those old ones. Like, you can easily see the influence of Mario, of Mega Man, of Castlevania, of DuckTales, just from like all the pogoing, from the 8 Knight Masters, just everything in general is just a huge throwback to those type of games, and it still feels unique on its own. It feels like it has its own identity, and it's a really fun game overall.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a good companion for any handheld system. I mean, it's out on PC, Xbox One, Wii U, PS4, 3DS, Switch, and Vita. I think if you're going to get it on one of those last 3, the Vita, the Switch, or the 3DS, because it's just perfect for that. It's one of those games that it's like, I'm glad I got it here.
Playing it on my TV, I did hook up my Switch to it, so I got to have that perspective, but then having it handheld too was great. It's a really good game to play that way.
Yeah, I think it's a good game to pick up. I think it's worth whatever the cost is. I didn't buy it. What did you buy it for?
It was $25 for the treasure trove.
Yeah, after taxes.
That's a little more than I probably would be willing to pay.
But this is the treasure trove edition with all the DLC.
You know what? That's true. And it is 3 campaigns. I mean, I guess I can't really complain if it's just as long as this one. So it's a pretty good deal. I would say get the treasure trove edition just to give you the extra content if you like it. If not, then you don't have to play it, but there it is. I think it's worth it. I'm glad my buddy bought it for me in a way, and I think handheld, it's just one of those games that's just perfect for it. Like playing Final Fantasy Type 0 HD on the PS4, I'm like, it's fine, but I really wish I was playing this on the PSP right now, because it's a fucking PSP game.
Yeah.
And this is one of those ones that it's just beautiful. So get your Switch out. Not that it's
also on 3DS.
Not already out. Yeah, I wonder how that. I guess the version would probably be about the same. It's not like the
graphics wouldn't really change.
Yeah, it's not super intensive. So that would have been cool. I've grown to love my 3DS over the years with all the FF titles I've had to play. Not that they're particularly great games for the 3DS, but I like the system itself.
You like the handheld experience?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So our overall score, Nude Clan official rating, official review, 91 out of 100 for Shovel Knight. And that is dead on for the Metacritic for the Nintendo Switch version. So
nice.
You heard it from us. Shovel Knight's a great game. It's worth your time. Go out and pick it up. You'll have a blast. So,
yeah. Unless you're Joe.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Joe beating this game?
Honestly, it's easier than some of the games he's attempted to play, like the old Mario games. So maybe
he'd beat it, but would we hear him complain about it the whole time?
At the same time, it doesn't have save states, so there's no way in hell he'd be able to play it.
Honestly, I can't imagine him being worse at platformers than me, to be completely fair.
Is. I've seen him play. It's embarrassing.
Because I'm pretty bad, dude. I don't know. We have to get him to play Shovel Knight and see how long it takes him to beat it.
Dude, I watched him play Mario for a little bit, and he had to reload a save state for this one jump 8 times.
For one jump?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe it might be a fight for the worst platformer Nude Clan host, X/X host, of course. So cool. We are going to get a drawing ready and going to share the results with you guys in just a sec. All right, guys. So we have some nominations before we get to our wonderful drawing for you guys, our wonderful patrons. This time was my turn to do 2 games, and the 2 I have settled on are Devil May Cry 5 and the first Uncharted game, so Uncharted Drake's Fortune. That was a gift from A for Extreme, wonderful listener of ours, sent us a care package with a bunch of different games, and that was one of them. I'm pretty sure he was the one that sent that, at least, because we got a bunch of them like around the same time. Great way to knock out that. It's on PS4, very accessible. It's a series that's a really big Sony series, and Cameron and I haven't played a single one. So it would be kind of good to get into those. Devil May Cry 5, of course, the big new thing, and I'm almost done with it anyway, so might as well pump out a review. And I think I like picking games that I know make Cameron kind of uncomfortable. And that's kind of one of those ones.
You think Uncharted would make me feel uncomfortable?
Not Uncharted. I think Devil May Cry 5 probably would.
Oh, just because of...
How do you feel about hack and slash games?
Just fine.
You should be fine then.
The only thing that makes me uncomfortable is Japanese games centered around Japanese children that are women.
Oh, yeah, this one's not that way.
Oh, and
Yeah.
there are no little girls in that game.
You got the one chick, the smoker chick, though, the mechanic.
She's awesome, though.
I mean, she's funny, but it's not nothing to make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. She's got some serious tramp stamps going on.
Yes, she does. She certainly does.
2 guns pointing down there. And I'm like, man,
She has a butterfly on there, too. Like on
Yeah.
the lower back.
yeah, I'm like, kind of want to know what's going on. Like, does it look like it's been shot up? Because, like, there's 2 guns pointing down at it. Like, I don't know.
What else is she hiding?
Gonna have to hit up that U-porn later to find out what the fuck's going on.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, those are the 2 I chose. Cameron, what about you? What do you got?
Of course, it's got to be Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur. No, this is going to be...
should do that.
Soul Calibur 3. Good luck beating it without corrupting the save. Doesn't count.
Or Soul Calibur 3.
Dark Souls 2 is my vote.
Okay, so
Yeah.
another Souls game. We've done
Yes.
3 remastered and Bloodborne for the podcast. We still have 2 and Demon Souls. So, what about you, Craig? What's your
My
nominee?
pick is the new Metro game, Metro Exodus.
Okay, so we got another newbie in there. Guys, get on Twitter. Follow the show at UFF Podcast. That's where you can find the votes, where you can find the podcast, where you can find great ways to review each episode. Craig asks how you felt about the episode. Get some conversation going. That's where you can find all of that. Get your voting in.
All right, the vote has been tweeted out, so get voting, guys.
Yeah, Craig.
I don't even know where I'm going to put my vote. Damn.
Will you do the honors and shake my phone to
I will
draw
shake the shit out of your phone.
from the hat?
We got David Portnov.
David Portnov, hit us up on Twitter. I know you're a follower, and let us know what consoles you have, and we'll let you know what games we have for you, my good friend. Let us know, and we will send something off. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for helping us on Patreon. We love giving back. We're going to start pulling in some more games. Each of the reviews, I think we should have a game that we give away for that review, have a show copy, quote unquote, that we buy, that we play, and we send off to you guys as the giveaway. I think that's a great way to get this rolling. And honestly, we should... I want to have no money at all left over. I want to have enough supplies for the podcast, and then everything else I want to put into you guys and to contests and things like that. And that's why we're doing this. That, and it's a lot easier if we have nothing. We can't get paid if we have $0. You know what I'm saying, Cameron? We're a non-profit organization here at Nude Clan. If we don't get any money from
I don't
it,
think you know the definition of non.
No,
You can't
nonprofit-
say it's a non-profit organization when you and Joe have both taken money out when me and
That
Cam
was-
Cam haven't. So
those
it's
were-
basically non-profit for me and Cameron.
no,
I have chosen to not take money from it unless my share is above a certain amount.
we
so
were reimbursed, as was Cameron for his Nintendo Switch.
That's
he
the
purchased.
show. That's the show.
Right? And the
stuff.
show paid for some of the games that Joe and I bought as well. For
Yeah, but
Ultima.
we don't own it. The show owns it.
That's true. Yeah. The show owns it.
Which is why you can't let people borrow show property.
Not necessarily, but...
Especially if show property gets damaged.
Yeah, that's true. That was kind of...
So damaged show property should, if it's due to negligence or due to it not being in your possession, someone should be accountable for it.
Probably. I don't know if it's really damaged, though, because it is something that does happen.
Yeah.
And honestly, don't play the Switch with the things with the Joy-Cons on the screen. It's just not a good experience. Like,
it was fine, but holding it for a long amount of time.
Yeah, it's just too big, you know? Like, I'm just used to something a little
Schweiss's
more manageable in my hand. Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for helping us out. We will get with Dave Portnoy, get his game sent out, and please consider subbing to us and helping us out so we can provide even more great shit for you. Looks like Craig is becoming addicted to the confetti that flies in the app whenever the name is drawn. So everyone's a winner today. Woo! Anyway, guys, until next time, as always,
enjoy the nude.
Time to get good.
Live always in the nude.
Yeah!